It's better to let someone think you're an idiot than open your mouth and prove it. No hard feelings, though.
All right, am I starting? What's up, boys?
Where do you want to start off? So, episode 2 podcast. We have our special guest today. Jay, would you like to introduce?
Yep. This is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Larry Welnowski. My dad.
All right.
My dad couldn't make it to the podcast today. I hate to tell you. So we're just gonna skip on that note.
So tell us a little about you. What do you?
All right. So I run a plastics distribution company that we buy and sell. Started out buying and selling recyclable plastic, and kind of morphed into distributing plastics to end users and other distributors. Kind of got hooked up with a sister company in Michigan where we actually do some manufacturing up there and do a lot of work with the automotive and actually gun manufacturers and things like that we sell our products into. So been doing that for over 20 years, and so just that's about it.
I got a question actually about that. Like, how did you like get into that? Like, how did that whole thing
start? I fell ass backwards into the industry. I was, I worked for a cement company actually. And then, so when I lived in Cleveland for a year, I moved to Cleveland. I worked for a cement company, and then I ended up quitting there and wanting to move back to Buffalo. And I applied for a job in Buffalo, went on an interview, and basically worked there, got the job, worked there for 6 years. And when I went on the interview, I seriously did not even understand what the job was going to be or what industry I was even going to be in. Yeah. I just took the job because I needed a job, and then worked there for 6 years. I was basically buying and selling recyclable plastic. So we'd buy from one company that can't use the scrap, and then we'd sell to another company that can use it. So there's a lot of companies that can't reuse their plastic scrap. Most companies can grind it up and run it back through. Some companies can't when it's a critical application, like a medical application or a automotive, sometimes like airbags or things like that. So I worked there for 6 years, and then one of my customers was bugging me for a few years to, he broke out on his own, started his own business, and then was bugging me for a couple years to break out with him, start my own company, and he was going to back me to get started, and so go in business with him. So that's finally took me a couple years to do that, but I quit my job, without, I had to take a leave of 6 months off because I had a non-compete contract, so I couldn't get back in the business for 6 months. But I took that 6 months off. But in that 6 months, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I was actually applying for other jobs, went on a few interviews, but when that 6 months was up, I really didn't have anything. So, took up his offer, started in the business, and that was, actually 2003. So I've been, running my business for 17 years now. So
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yep.
So how is like the whole like COVID-19 and everything affecting like your business and your industry?
Until this week, it hasn't really affected it too much. We've been pretty full operational, but this week we had we share a building with another company that runs our lab, and they pretty much shut down the lab on Monday. So, and really didn't tell us why. So they had a couple people sick. So we're not sure if it's because of COVID-19 or not. But we are going to sanitize the whole place and hopefully bring everyone back in to start the lab back up. But we're still in kind of negotiations how we're going to do that, because we really got to know if somebody had the virus or not, because if they did have the virus, we're going to have to quarantine everybody for 14 days that was in there. So, yeah. Which will hurt us a little bit. We have 2 other facilities that we work out of also, but that one is where we bring in material and we test it and make sure it is what it is before we run it back into another product. So, it's crucial for us to know if somebody had the virus or not, so we can quarantine our whole crew.
Yeah.
If they didn't, then we would probably just sanitize the place and get everybody back to work that's healthy anyway.
So kind of to clarify, you're kind of like the middleman between one company and another when it becomes like
Yeah, that's
plastic.
kind of how I started out. Like they call us like plastic brokers. So I started out, more in the brokerage side of things where I'd buy from one company and sell to another. Now I still do a little bit of that, but I'm with my sister company in Michigan. I'm kind of the main distributor for their end product. So what I do is, I'm basically more in the sales end of the distribution end of their products. So I still buy on the supply side. I buy things to supply them with, and then I sell their end products to other people. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
That's cool. Yeah. It's like
yeah,
a lot of different companies all kind of working to one.
yeah. It's
Like,
a crazy thing, and before I got in the industry, I didn't even know like this whole plastics trading went on. I mean, I had no idea, and most people don't. It's a real commodity. It's kind of like gold or silver or
yeah.
something like that, because the prices go up and down basically, which plastic you're trading with and which plastic you're buying and selling, the prices go up and down pretty frequently. So
So, from a perspective of someone like older than us, that's in the business world, like how do you see the coronavirus affecting like the economy and the business world, like in a few months or?
well, we've seen it already, right? I mean, the stock market's been crazy swings up and down, really. I mean, it's went down significant amount and it came right back up in one day. I think it had the biggest gain in you know ever in one day,
Since
back
like
up. So
1978 or something like that.
but I
Yeah,
don't
I
know, the
did see
last
that.
few days have been pretty stable from what I've seen, and I don't know. I mean, as far as the economy goes, it's terrible. All these places are, any non-essential business is shut down. I mean, I'm thankful that my business is considered essential because, we supply different plastics to different uh, manufacturing sites that manufacture a whole different, whole wide variety of products. And some of those are medical, some of those are, automotive too, but automotive's kind of shut down right now. But, we do supply different parts of critical industries, so we're considered essential, so we can still run. But all those businesses that are non-essential, I mean, you just got to think about every salon or or even restaurants. I mean, they're only doing takeout. I mean, they're not surviving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I actually just saw there was something on News Channel 9, like around my area. Someone they have like their own food restaurant, kind of. It's like a family owned, and he said, we try to stay open for a while, but then we had to shut down because yes, it's takeout and stuff, but not as many people are ordering still. And
No.
he goes, I still got to pay my workers the same price because they got to feed and they got families. He goes, so you end up having to shut down, and then it's like, what do you do? So it's different. It's just crazy for every family, that's in different situations.
Yeah, the good thing is, I mean, with the stimulus package they came out with, they're providing small business loans to those businesses that have to lay off people, so they can at least apply for those loans and, at a low rate of interest and not have to pay it back for a while. That they can, they can either choose to pay their employees they had to lay off or supplement their business. So, I mean, it's hard for everybody. It's going to be a devastating, when it's all said and done, it's going to be devastating because a lot of these businesses are just going to close for sure.
Yeah.
So
So kind of switching gears off of the whole coronavirus thing, all this like new technology and social media and everything is kind of seen as like a bad thing from some like parents' perspectives and everything like that. How do you see social media both as a businessman and a parent? Like, how do you see it influencing?
Well, the last couple of years, I really started doing a lot of research, in my business. And my business is kind of old school. Like there's a lot, it's kind of old school players, and they don't really, it's kind of more calling somebody on a phone and trying to do business like that. And I've been watching a lot of different, videos and things like that, and how to use social media. And I've been using LinkedIn a lot, posting videos on there and trying to build my brand, not only my business brand, but myself, my personal brand, just to build my credibility up and get my name out there and tell people who I am. Um, and it's funny because and not a lot of people, not anybody was really doing it in my industry. And I got a lot of people, calling me and, saying, "Hey, what are you doing on LinkedIn? Like, what's this? You doing videos and you're doing all kinds, you're posting like 10 times a day." And I'm like, well, I'm trying something new, I'm trying to build my brand and because I always think like, how are you guys, the younger generation, gonna, you guys are maybe starting businesses or whatever, and you're gonna get into some kind of business. I always think like, how are the younger generation in my business world, how are they, how are they competing with me? Are they coming up? I don't want to be left doing the same crap for years and years, and then it's going to be obsolete. You know what I mean? So I've taken to LinkedIn mostly, doing a little bit of Facebook and Instagram and things like that, but mostly posting some, videos, just, basically videos about my industry and, just some business thoughts I have and things like that, just to build my credibility. So, but I think it's, I've been doing it since January 1st. I've been making a concerted effort to do that. And it's got me a lot of attention. So,
That's
I
good.
think it's
Yeah, that is good.
big,
So
but I'm going to try it for a whole year. I said I'm going to give it a year and see if it's really working. We'll see. But so far it's bringing some attention. So that's good.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going
So,
to ask you, like, is it, I know it's like a slow process to build your followers, build your personal brand, and everything like that. But so you've seen payoff already, almost.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know because to tell you the truth, I don't know if it's because I'm doing that or not, but I'm definitely, I've had the best 3 months I've had so far in my business. But I can't really correlate if it's because I'm doing the LinkedIn stuff or not, or if things just that I was working on are coming to fruition all at once. But I don't know. I'm gonna keep doing it and see what it comes.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously social media plays a big, like, is now does and is going to in the future play a really big role in the business world, like building your personal brand, like you talked about how important that is for, like, when someone thinks of an industry, they should think of, Nickel City Polymers or Larry
Well,
Welnowski.
yeah, and that's the thing. I'm trying to like for my specific products that I sell, it's like I'm trying to become the go-to source for those products. You know what I mean? So, trying to build a brand to say that we specialize in one brand of plastic, and we also do other things too. But if you can really specify and be kind of a so-called expert in one area, it's really brings a lot of value. And might bring a lot of business. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Kind of switching gears again. So another thing that is coming up with new technology is video games. And again, parents sometimes, like, their kid spends all day playing a video game.
Like you
Like,
guys do?
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes.
Sometimes. Depends.
Um, but like, how do you see that both as a parent and like a money making opportunity? Like, I know some people are making crazy amounts of
Yeah,
money.
I don't know much about. I mean, I used to play a lot of video games when I was younger too, but I haven't really done it to the extent of now where it's like I don't understand the whole. I know there's Twitch and
Yep.
things like that or whatever, and I know people are making money doing that, and I don't get the whole concept really, but I understand that it's I guess you just watch other people play video games. Is that how it works,
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically?
For most of the streaming like apps and websites, things like that, like what Ninja uses and a bunch of other people, they just stream, and usually by the amount of streamers they get, that company pays them a certain amount, or the people watching sometimes donate money, which
Yeah.
I don't really wrap my head around. Some people do. They just have extra money and that's what they do. That's like
Yeah.
their thing. But
Well,
yeah,
there's a lot of people that do like YouTube. Well, we watch a lot of Disney videos, and like there's people that will like go in the parks and live stream, and then people just donate like they donate. I don't know how it works, but they donate money as they're live streaming, because I don't know, I guess it's kind of like entertainment. So you want to keep
Yeah.
their, you're basically paying them to provide the entertainment,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's like renting a movie basically or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of parents downplay, video games and things like that. But I don't know. My feeling is if you can, whatever. I mean, if you got to have some kind of outlet to blow off some steam too, and that's part of it. And if you can make money doing it, that's even better.
I've actually made some money off of Rocket League in the past. Like,
You've won tournaments, right, or something like
yeah.
that.
So I used to play this was back in 2015, 2016. I used to play in tournaments on Xbox One. It was they had like forums that you can go on.
Oh,
You'd
okay.
have to enter those tournaments, and you'd send like $10 PayPal, and you'd be put in a 64 team tournament, and the
Yeah.
payout would be like crazy money. So, and you just play, and I've won a few. I've won a few, but I haven't played some in a while. But I definitely can see like if you dedicate it, and if I played 5, 6 hours a day, and I just kept playing those tourneys, and I started streaming too, you could definitely make two incomes and
Yeah.
pretty good money as a young person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even know like I don't know, there's a couple guys my age that I've heard recently. There's a guy my wife not works with, but he's like their computer guy that services their computers, and he does it. I don't know what game he plays, but he makes, he gets on a couple hours a night or whatever, and my wife was telling me that yeah, he's making money doing that. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think it's just cool. It takes a lot of like, obviously it takes dedication and skill, but it's
Yeah.
definitely cool.
Yeah, it's all what you want to put your time into, really.
Yep.
So
Yeah, there's so many ways to make money like online these days. It's crazy. I mean, like, um, yeah, I don't know. There's so many different opportunities. Like if you're good at something, but then again, it takes a lot of hard work, and like running a business as itself takes a lot of hard work. I know a lot of people like to like call themselves like entrepreneurs or CEOs, and like, is that like, I don't know, is that really all it's cracked up to be? Or like, I know it takes a lot more work than people kind of
well, yeah, and
put it
that's the
out to
thing. I
be.
think it's a lot of patience is what it is, because I've been in my business for a long time, and it's taken me a long time to really get where I want to be, and a lot of people just give up. They don't want to put the time in, or they want quick returns and things like that. And I think it's a lot what people don't understand is that you got to put a lot of work in, and it takes years to really get where you want to be. It's everybody wants a quick success and hit the lottery overnight or whatever, and that's just not how it works.
Hmm.
99 times out of 100, that's not how it works. I mean, you're always going to get one lucky person that stumbles ass backwards into a lottery ticket or something, but
Yeah.
that's just not how you look at every person that's successful, and whether it's Bill Gates or whoever, they've put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
You can't say any person has like stumbled into something. Maybe the Kardashians, who knows, like every business person is like, they put a lot of work in.
Yeah.
And even the Kardashians, I'm not mocking them, but it's like they put a lot of work into whatever they're doing too.
Yeah.
They're making videos and reality shows and whatever. And
And I know a lot of people like get on them and say, "Oh, what do they do?" Blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, they make a show about what they do during their life, but like it's still a show. Like you still have to, make it entertaining.
Yeah.
well,
Like,
that's the thing.
like
If people want to watch it, people watch it.
exactly. Like if I just sat in my bed all day and someone recorded me, no one's gonna watch the Brown show. But like they get up, they do things every single day, like
Yeah.
nonstop,
Yeah.
whether it's meetings or traveling. Like it's just a different lifestyle.
And I know like Kylie Jenner is like the youngest billionaire ever, and like, yeah, she had that like starting point with like fame and money, but she also grew her business and did things the right way. Like I watched a couple of videos, she one actually like designing her what she sells makeup, right?
Hmm.
She's like
Yeah,
she's not designing her makeup, but she was smart enough to outsource that and outsource all the things that she wasn't good at. You know what I
exactly.
mean? That's how she grew her business so
Yeah.
so big. You know what I mean? At such a
I
young age.
I actually um I saw her like when she first started her business. It was like a you know how on Snapchat they have like celebrities like at the top. It's like the top Snapchats to look at. I
Yeah.
would always see hers up there, and she'd always post videos of just different makeup that like they were creating. She advertised so much on an app that's so popular with kids that age who wear makeup. It was like gold for her. Because
Yeah.
then because if an 18-year-old girl comes home and is like, Mom, this and that, she's selling them 50, 60, $70 a pop. They buy two or three of them. She's making 180 off each girl. There's I don't even know how many girls in the US. There you go. She's making a ton of money. So
Yep.
I
Yeah.
feel like she just did it the right way. Yeah, she had the money and sources, and then she was smart enough to play the advertising and everything right to get it out there.
Yeah.
Well, the bottom line is it takes work. I mean, you look at, like I said, anybody like like Damon John too. I don't know if you know his story, but it's like he was sewing clothes in his mom's basement for years, trying
Mhm.
to get his product line out there and things like that. And it just takes a lot of hard work. So it takes a lot of patience and hard work. That's all really what it's
Yeah.
all about.
I mean, we listen to Gary Vee all the time, and he
Yep.
says all the time, like, you got to be willing to eat shit for like 6 years. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then you'll
Right.
get there.
That's
Yeah,
how it is. It's how it is. It's all about you get out what you invest what you put in.
Yeah, definitely.
for
For
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
So, kind of switching gears, last time I'm going to mention coronavirus, I swear. But how do you think, like,
Oh, another Corona question.
all right, this is the last one, though.
Coronavirus.
How do you think it's going to affect, like, sports that have been suspended or, like, delayed, like the MLB delayed opening day, NHL,
I don't know.
UFC?
I really don't know. I think the whole thing is that everyone's trying to predict what's gonna, when things are gonna be better or when we're gonna make a turn. And right now, I just don't think anybody can predict that. I don't know. We just don't know. That's the thing. And
Yeah.
it's like if anybody wants to predict it, it's based off nothing because we just don't know how this virus is gonna, how long it's gonna be, when it's gonna peak, when we're gonna be on the downturn, when we're gonna feel comfortable being around each other again. That's the whole thing. And to be honest, I don't know. I don't see the NBA or the NHL coming back. To be honest,
I 100% agree with you. I
not
just
till next
I
season anyway.
Yeah. I think I think society as a whole is gonna feel so much different when this is over. I don't think there's ever gonna be that we go right back to normal and no one thinks about it. You know what I mean? Like I
No,
feel like
I
so much
watch
more
people
is
on
gonna
like I'll watch. I was just saying to him the other day. It's like I'm watching somebody on TV like slapping high fives, and I'm like, oh no, don't do
yeah.
that.
It's crazy to think about, but I just feel like there's never gonna be that like we're at normal, we're safe, it's not gonna happen again because like like they were saying the heat they were saying oh when summertime comes around the heat maybe slows it down. What about next winter? Is it gonna spike back up? Because
Yeah,
it's not going to be
exactly.
completely gone. And yeah, we may be more prepared for it because we may have a vaccine by then or we have more tests, but it's just scary because it's like is it going to happen again? Can the people who had it and got cured, can they get it again? It's
Right.
just there's so many things you got to think about, but
Well,
hopefully
it's
it
so
just
new that they don't know. They just don't
exactly.
know. And like I
Yeah.
said, I don't know if nobody knows what's going to happen. So as far as events go and seasons, I mean, maybe Major League Baseball plays a shortened season if they can get going by June 1st or something.
I'll
But
cry if there's no baseball. I'll
yeah,
cry.
Well, I read today, like I get the ESPN updates, and they said that they're thinking about doing opening day with no fans, like just like playing games with no fans.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Watch it from home. Save your money. Instead
yeah,
of buying a ticket, just watch it from home. I'm so down with that. No
yeah,
fans, go ahead. I
yeah.
don't care. I just want to see baseball, dude.
right. I think that's the most likely situation is if they do end up playing games or become safe enough where like two teams can be in close
Yeah.
proximity to each other,
Yeah.
and they'll just do it with no fans. I mean, they're going to be taking losses with ticket sales and
Yeah.
concessions and merchandise and everything, but who cares?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they can afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, the teams are still playing. Like, maybe that maybe the players might have to take a cut on contracts, maybe because how they're that organization is not getting a whole year of revenue. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they can take that hit from ticket sales and all that stuff, but then you got to pay Trout 90 mil or someone 90. You know what I mean? That's a lot of
Yeah, but
money.
they'll probably still, they'll still get TV revenue, which they,
Yes.
Oh, true. That's
do
yeah.
that.
That
Yeah,
would probably increase
yeah,
dramatically. Yeah, that's
right.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, what they should do if they're, even if they end up playing an extended number of games without fans, I mean, maybe they offer, the MLB package for free for those games or something like that,
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
just so
That would
people
be
can watch.
that'd be
Yeah.
a great idea.
There was remember Trevor Bauer was talking about something where like the MLB is losing so much money because they decided to like monetize everything or something. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about,
I don't know.
but like I don't know the full story, so don't quote me. But like they decided to charge for like everything, so like you can't watch anything MLB related without paying.
I
So, like,
honestly think that's 100% correct because, well, I mean, I have like Yankees. I watch the Yankees, so it's Yes Network. But
yeah,
like, you don't see any other MLB games on unless it's like ESPN. But
Yeah.
ESPN's once in a while, and if it's on ESPN, it's a big team like the Dodgers or something
yeah,
like that. But
yeah.
Yeah.
you barely see it. It's only the MLB Network, or you got to buy the package or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. That's a whole thing too. It's like we live in Buffalo, and for the longest time, we we couldn't even subscribe. Like, we're Indians fans, so we couldn't even subscribe to MLB package because it was blacked out in Buffalo. It's like, why the hell is Cleveland blacked out in Buffalo? And like,
Yeah,
we're closer to Toronto, and that's not blacked out.
yeah,
It didn't make any sense how they had the whole thing set up. Like, I think Cleveland and Pittsburgh were blacked out in
Yeah.
Buffalo. And it was
wow.
like, didn't make any sense, but
But now we get Fox
well,
Sports
now,
Ohio.
yeah. So we had DirecTV and we get Fox Sports Ohio, or Sports Time Ohio, and so we've been seeing all the Indians games, which is great. But
Yeah, yeah,
it was crazy for a long time. We couldn't see them if we wanted to see them. Like, if I wanted to pay for it, I couldn't even pay for it.
yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I Wow.
I remember when we figured it out, it was like they were in the playoffs. Like their season ended a couple games after that, but I was like,
Oh,
Dad,
we had it for the whole friggin' year, and we didn't even know it.
yeah. And they were in the playoffs. I was like, Dad, like the Indians are on. And he's like, no way, no way.
No shot.
We had yeah, it was when we first got DirecTV, and I didn't even know because the channels were so screwed up. It was like started at channel 2 and went to like 700 and something or whatever, and
Yeah.
we didn't even know we had the channel until literally we could have been watching the whole year, and we literally found it like the first week of the playoffs.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's funny. My grandpa, he watches literally every single Yankees game. So his TV, like, he doesn't change the channel. He turns it on and it's on Yes Network. And then he clicks like the last button and it goes like the History Channel. Like, it's only those two channels. He doesn't watch anything else. He called me the other day. He was like, "Did you see the Yankees won?" And I go, "Grandpa," I go, the game's not on. What are you talking about? I go, "They're not playing." And he's like, "No, I watched it." And I'm like, "It must have been a rerun." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Aaron Judge hit 2 home runs." I go, "No, that's a rerun, Gramp." I go, "That's a rerun." And he goes, "Oh, okay." Because he's a little forgetful.
That's
Yeah,
funny though.
Yeah,
that's funny.
it
No,
works.
it's nice that they're replaying old games. Like the NFL is doing NFL the app. What's it called? Game Pass or something like that.
NFL ticket, something like that.
No, I think it's called Game Pass. But
Sure.
you can watch every game from the last 11 years on there for free now.
What?
It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I
Yeah.
saw they reran the Chiefs and St. Louis Rams game when they were both 9-1 in
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
They reran that game yesterday. I watched that game.
Oh, that was like the highest scoring game ever, right?
Yup.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
when Gurley didn't have a touch till like the second half, and then he went off in the second
Yeah.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 50 something to 50 something. I remember that. It was a great game. But
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I put on the Bills game from like 2009, and it was crazy to see all the old players and stuff.
yeah, yeah,
So kind of switching gears. So you grew up watching baseball your whole life, and you're kind of like have some old school thoughts on baseball. And then Jordan and I obviously were younger. We play college baseball, so maybe we have some newer ideas about baseball. So maybe we could like talk about a few things like that.
Sure.
Like, what do you think about?
You guys are good, by the way. Both good players.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're decent. We're decent.
So like, I guess maybe like we can start like, what do you think about the DH? Like, should the pitcher be able to hit or like?
Yeah, I feel like I don't know I never liked the DH because I always felt like, well, Jordan might take offense to this, but I always felt like pitchers should be hitters too. I mean, they should work on it just like every other person.
He says it
Yeah.
once a day.
Listen, Larry. I hit 349 my senior year, hit 13 doubles, and Fitry won't let me pick up the bat. And I hope
now it's not really even an option for you guys.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody, well, besides Winnie, the last few, since I've been watching you guys, there hasn't really been pitchers that hit,
Yeah, I mean, he's not gonna let us, but
Winnie's a crazy story though. He was a pitch PO for 3 years in college, and then his senior year we needed a third baseman, and it was the senior year he was 110% invested into our program, and he was like, I'll play third base, and he ended up hitting like 480.
Yeah,
like it was just
crazy,
ridiculous numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah, when we got pitchers VP in Myrtle, the one practice, and you took one swing and like hit the fence or something.
Dude, because he was like, oh, we each get one swing to try to hit a home run. So it's like, okay. So the first one I hit it, but like it went right back and like hit the screen.
Oh,
we were supposed to run, and I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, let me get another swing. He's like, okay, and I just hit it, and it went off the wall. And I'm like, dude, like, give me a bat, like, just one. I mean, he gave me 2 at bats last year. I'm not gonna lie, he did, but I got walked on 8 pitches. I didn't get a strike. So
yeah.
You do have a good swing though. I've seen your swing, and it's definitely better. It might be better than some of our hitters. I don't know.
They're all gonna watch
Those
this.
hitters aren't listening.
I'm kidding. It's a joke.
He's not kidding, Jared. It's okay. I mean,
no, I don't know. I like to see pitchers hit, and I think it's more interesting when pitchers hit. Even if they're not, whether they're good or they're not good, it's still interesting to watch pitchers hit. So I think it adds a different dimension to the game, whether it's if they're gonna sacrifice them or let them hit or whatever. I mean, it's always interesting. And in the American League, you don't get any of that. It's all swing away. So
I don't know. I like the DH, to be honest. I think like pitchers have so much to worry about during the game. Like they control the game, and like I'm a catcher, so like I don't know. Like sometimes catchers and pitchers don't really like get along or like vibe together like that. But I do think pitchers control the game 100%. Like the play doesn't start until you throw the ball. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like that's so much to worry about and everything like that. So I think you should just worry about pitching. You know what I mean? Because
I fully understand that, especially at the college level.
Yeah,
and that's one thing. That's why I don't get on Fitry. Like, why don't I get at bats? Even though we have a bunch of kids who can hit, that's not the point. Just like in general, like even let me take BP or because like listen, you need to focus on pitching, and that's right because you have a lot of things you need to work on until you have a 0 ERA with 81 innings and 81 Ks. There's really you shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, I understand that more now, but like when I was a kid, I never understood that. I'm like, well, why don't pitchers just take batting practice? Like, why don't they just work on it a little bit?
Uh-huh.
Like, why don't they? It's like you got to hit anyway. Why not work on it? You go up there and you look like a total jackass because you can't hit.
Yeah.
Like, why not just work on it a little bit? That's all they do is they play baseball. It's not like they're working on pitching 24/7.
That's
like,
true.
Take some at bat.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like I always look at it too, like when I like pitched and hit, like if I was pitching a game and I went 1, 2, 3, 3 innings or whatever, and then I was the 9th hitter and I start off the inning with a single, I get hyped up and then I'm hyped up on the mound.
Right.
And then I'm ready to go. So it makes me I feel like there's more adrenaline. Yeah, I may be a little bit more tired, but there's so much adrenaline that it kicks up. It doesn't even matter. It takes over for that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yep.
What do you think about the automatic strike zone or like the robot umpires?
Yeah, I'm definitely not into that. I think that I like
Neither am I. It's so stupid.
I think it's just I don't know. I definitely would. I never want to see him go to an automatic strike zone. I like that. there's that human element to the game, and it would take away so much from. I don't know. That's half the fun for me is like watching umpires strike zones, and even when you guys play, it's like, I like umpires that have consistent strike zones, and if they're calling a low pitch all the time, that's great. But sometimes I always watch the umpires because I'm such a baseball dork. It's like, are they calling the up? Are they calling it up or are they calling it down? And a lot of guys call it either way. But then once they change, a lot of these guys will change halfway through the game and start calling a high pitch a strike when they haven't done it all game. It's just wrong. But
Yeah.
that's half the fun for me. It's just like, kind of watching the umpires and seeing what they're calling and, trying to make your own determinations whether you agree with them or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the only time I ever like get mad about balls and strikes is like when they're not consistent. Like I don't care where you're calling strikes, just as long as you call it every time. You know what I
right.
mean? Like so, like if I'm catching and Jordan, you're pitching, like say he's calling the high strike, like okay, that's fine. We'll like just so we know to throw the high strike, and that
Yeah,
it's not
and
gonna
see,
not gonna
like
call the low one.
the thing with me is I love the umpires. If it ever becomes robotic, I'll probably stop pitching. Like I don't like that, and I just like it because what you kind of just said. If a righty gets up first batter, and then you set up outside, and I miss a couple balls outside, and he calls it a strike, I know the whole game. I can throw it two balls
Yep.
outside,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna paint that. So I can throw a two seam 0-2 on the inside corner. He backs up. I could throw it in the other batter's box. It's strike three because I like having those advantages as a pitcher, especially that I can see it's more straight up than the batter.
Right.
And then I'm pretty sure you see that too.
Oh,
And then
absolutely.
you
I mean,
slide
we
over
talked
more.
about
I feel like it's an advantage for the pitcher, whether it's either team or not, that likes that spot and this and that. I think it's way better than the K zone and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I don't know. What do you guys think about like the replay though? Like, do you guys like instant replay or no?
Oh,
I I, I like instant replay because baseball is the game of inches. There's
Yeah.
so many there's so much room for human error that I feel like replay is like a necessity.
Okay, so what about when the guy slides in the second, and then if he beats the tag, but then his body, if he slides over the bag, you've seen this before.
Yeah.
Slides over the bag, and then he comes like his stomach is off the bag
For, like, a split
for a
second.
second,
Yeah.
and the tag is still on him, and then they call him out.
That's tough. Yeah.
I don't know about
Like yeah,
that. That's the
yeah,
part I don't like about it.
yeah.
Blame
That's
that on instant replay though. I mean, like
That's totally instant replay's fault.
true. That's true. That's instant replay's fault. But in reality, he slid too late, caused his body to come off the bag potentially, which it did, and it wasn't able to be seen by human eye. But
Right.
in reality, he was out. So now, if we don't have replay, he's safe. But in only the gods know, baseball gods know that he's out. Guy hits a single, they win the game. You know what I'm saying?
But that part of it changes the whole game. Like that never would have been an out
yeah.
before instant replay. Never. Because if the guy beats the throw and he's off for a split second, the umpire's never gonna know that, number one, and he's gonna be safe every time. So now like that part of it, I don't know. That part of it kind of annoys me a little bit. I think that if the guy beats the throw, it's like he's off for like a millisecond. You're like, really? He's out? Come on.
Yeah. There's pros and cons. There's pros.
Yeah, no, I totally agree that there's like two sides and you can argue either side, but like we have that technology and like all other sports use it. So like, don't you think it would become a problem if like say the MLB said, okay, we're not going to use instant replay, like it's umpire's discretion, whatever the call is. Like people are going to get pissed off, like, hey, like he was probably out, like let's get the right call instead of saying, oh well, the umpire saw this. You know what I mean?
And you know what the thing is too, relating back what you said about the point, he comes off for 0.1 seconds, so
Yeah.
tags on, he's out. That's just kind of like saying the same thing. If he dies for the goal line, his knee was down,
Right.
a quarter inch before that tip crossed,
Yeah.
and now instead of it being instead of it was 4th and goal, instead of it being a turnover on downs with 3 seconds left in the game, he just scored the game-winning touchdown. And
Yeah.
it's just it's crazy because it can happen in any sport, even
Well,
basketball.
yeah, and football is a whole different thing too. It's like
Yeah.
football. So I mean, I think it's good for football, but I think they also have to really define. They have some things that aren't reviewable. It's like, how the hell
Yeah.
can they not be
Yeah.
reviewable? Like
Yeah.
you're using instant replay, then just review everything.
It should be everything or nothing.
I feel like football has so many rules. Like the one we talk about all the time is when a kickoff goes out of bounds or a punt goes out of bounds, the
Oh yeah,
he's just like, okay, I think it landed here. We're gonna mark it at the
yeah.
25.
They kick it out of bounds, and the umpire's running up the thing, and he's like, how the hell can he tell where it went out of bounds?
Exactly. I've never understood that. He'll be standing like I actually looked that up before. They stand like at the end zone, right at the line. And then they watch it, but I don't know how they calculate it. So they're no matter how far it goes, they will be at the end zone. So if it goes out at the 40, they have to try to look from the end zone 40 yards down.
That's crazy. It's such a bullshit thing because they don't know where it went out. They're just, oh yeah, well let's mark it at the 36 because it looked like he doesn't even have the right angle to see where it went out.
Exactly. I think maybe when it goes out, someone may point and we just don't see it. You know what I mean? On the sideline, they're like, "Yo,"
Maybe they're like, right. There's got to be, maybe there's extra guys like around the perimeter.
yeah, that we probably don't see. You know what I mean? There's probably a guy that's like, "Yo, it landed right here," but I don't know. Like,
I feel like that would come up though.
I've been at an NFL game. I don't see those guys. Like, we see the Bills games. I don't see any of those dudes.
Yeah, right. We go to every Bills home game.
Yeah, I don't know.
The NFL, I think the NFL, it's like and then they try to, replay with the pass interference this year, and I feel like that was kind of a disaster too because they don't, they don't call they call well. Okay, so they started to call it, and then they the coaches would throw the challenge flag, but then they set a precedent where it was like if it wasn't totally obvious that pass interference, they wouldn't overturn it. And I don't think they were, and then that happened all year. They weren't overturning any of those, so coaches weren't even challenging that part of it.
Yeah.
So it's just like that part of it. They gotta do something about that. But I don't know. I think for baseball, I think it's been good. Definitely get the correct call. Safer out. That part of it's been good.
Yeah. Going back to the NFL, I know it's like a hot topic, but do you think the NFL is fixed?
Fixed?
Or rigged or, paid off or something?
Listen. I don't sports bet because I'm an NCAA player, but I can't. But I'm a gambling dude and I pay attention to lines and stuff. Dude, it's fixed, bro. I pay attention. I've seen too much. I've seen too many things. I pay attention to the Caesars and how much money is going towards this side of the bet because sometimes they post their numbers of old games. It's if you really pay attention to that stuff, it's kind of hard for you to not look at it and be like, some of this shit is just not. I mean, obviously not every sports play is fixed. There's guys that bust their ass. They're just that good. It happens, but in the times where it's like, a bad beat is what they call it. They even have it on ESPN. They have a section called bad beats. There'll be a team down 25 at half and they're +6 or whatever. And then they'll come back and shoot a buzzer beater shoot a buzzer beater layup wide open to get it within 5. And then everybody loses all their money. It's just, it's a little too shaky.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to a lot of that stuff, but every time I hear that, or every time I hear somebody talk about it, I'm like, yeah, that's probably some fishy stuff going on there.
Yeah, with a game that doesn't hurt any team in playoff condition, but like a midseason game. Patriots are 7-2, and the Bills are 6-3, and the Bills are +4, and they're down by 20 at half. They come back and they lose by 3. Boom, there goes everybody's money who bet the Patriots.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Things like that.
The one instance that really stands out to me, Jordan, we watched it at school. You know exactly what I'm going to talk about. Dallas played, he's a big Dallas fan. Dallas played New England, and you guys were up, right? You guys were, whatever. It was a close game, definitely.
Yeah, it was a close game.
And there were 2 tripping calls
Oh yeah, I saw those.
And
Yeah.
like we looked it up, and there was .3
Yeah.
tripping calls
No,
called every year.
point one. On average, point one tripping calls per NFL season. There was 2 in 1 quarter.
And they weren't like we watched them like they were not.
Bro,
They,
I've watched that video 1,000 times. I do not see a trip. He's literally a lineman moves his feet. It's not a. Oh, don't even get me started.
Yeah.
That was worse. That was honestly worse than the Des Bryant catch
Yeah.
against Green Bay in the playoffs. That was worse.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, those were pretty bad. I remember hearing, watching the replays of those and like, what is going on?
I don't know, that one just seemed way too like glaring and obvious to me anyway. They're just like what like
how
couldn't come up
dare
with something
how
better than
dare
that.
how dare the Dallas Cowboys maybe beat the Patriots
Yeah.
on national TV in the biggest game when they haven't played in forever? How dare they?
It's funny.
Yeah.
Some more like old school, new school stuff. What about Pete Rose? You think he should be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, we were talking about this a little earlier. It's like I don't know. I felt like when I was a kid, I always thought that he should be in the Hall of Fame because I always thought, his performance on the field should be separated from really what he did betting wise or whatever. But I don't know. I kind of changed my view. I don't know. I don't know if I changed my view or not, but I always think about like this, the steroid era guys now too, like McGuire and Bonds and those guys that were using steroids, Canseco and those guys that said they weren't using steroids, but obviously they were. And I feel like those guys should either not get in the Hall of Fame or should be a long time before they're in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
But as far as Pete Rose, I think Pete Rose, if he would have, because for years, it had to be 20 years, he said he kept denying every time they asked him, like, I didn't do it. And then he came out and said he did it finally. If he would have done that earlier and said, I admit I did it and be done with it, he probably would be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think he hurt himself by just denying it for so many years and lying about it when it was really true. And I mean, like I said, it had to be 20 years of him just lying, straight out lying.
Yeah.
People just got tired of hearing it. It's like, well, you're not admitting it. We know it's true, and you're still not admitting it. So why should we put you in the Hall of Fame?
He should have, like you said, he should have just admitted it up front or took it to the grave. He shouldn't have did, know.
I think if, like, first of all, he broke the rules. Like maybe like the rule, like you don't agree with the rule, but you broke the rule. You know what I mean? You bet on the game. And yeah, I get it. He wasn't playing in the game, but he was the manager. Like he was coaching. You know what I mean? I feel like that's even worse. Because like there's more ways you can sway the outcome of the game.
Yeah, he could take out a guy who's throwing a no-hitter and be like, oh, I didn't want him to hurt his arm. Put in a guy below the game,
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I don't know all the like details about what like the whole situation. I don't know like if they found anything that he did actually try to alter the game, but he bet on the game and then he lied about it. So he kind of like,
I don't think there was any actual evidence of him like, altering the game so that he'd win a bet, but he definitely bet for or against his own team.
yeah.
So that's
that definitely violates so many things.
Yeah.
You I mean, like you kind of disrespected the game at that point. I feel like, just in my opinion, anyway.
No, you're right, definitely. Like,
and I know a lot of people feel super strongly that he should be in the Hall of Fame, but
it's a tough one. But when you guys have nothing to do, go look at the numbers, and the number of hits he has is unbelievable.
Let's put it this way. Is the Hall of Fame based on your personality, or is it based on numbers? How do you get in the Hall of Fame?
That's a whole other discussion for me, because I'm pretty old school in the Hall. Like, I don't think they should put everybody in the Hall of Fame that they're putting in the Hall of Fame. It's like, you got to be the best of the best, not just the best. You got to be the best of the best.
Yeah.
I think they're putting too many people in the Hall of Fame that just had not average, but that just had good careers. Like, you can't just put people in a Hall. Like, this is the Hall of Fame. It's like the best of the best. Not just if you're going to be in the Hall of Fame with Cy Young, then you got to be better than just a above average pitcher.
Yeah, exactly. And you're right. Like you will be in the Hall of Fame forever,
Right.
and you'll be that face of baseball forever.
I feel like it should be more for the generational players like Trout in this generation, or in my generation there were a bunch of guys, but it's like it's got to be the best guys. It's like who led the league in hitting for a number of years, or who hit the most home runs those number of years, or whatever. It's like those are the Hall of Fame guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, like you said too. There's like, I feel like their personality or like how well known they are in the league, kind of gets them in there too. Like
That is true. That is
like
100% true.
not saying they're not good ball players.
And that's another thing. Like Mike Trout's name got big because Mike Trout came in and dicked on every baseball that was ever thrown at him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He had a billion home runs.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, "You're unreal. Like God made
Yeah.
you to swing a bat."
Right.
and now he's Mike Trout.
But that's the thing too. It's like there's a lot of guys, like if Mike Trout gets hurt this year, or say he gets hurt, and I mean, God forbid he gets hurt and ends his career. But there's a lot of guys like that too that like they have some great years, and then they have an injury, it ends their career. It's like, should those guys be in the Hall of Fame? Like probably not. Like there was Don. I don't know if you guys know Don Mattingly, but he was the same. He's the perfect example. He had a number of great years for the Yankees. And then he got hurt, hurt his back or whatever, and then he never played again. But it's always, I think he's in the Hall of Fame now, but it's like that was always the great debate. It's like, should he be in the Hall of Fame? Well, it's like, yeah, he probably would have had a great career, but it's really got to be based on what, it's like sad to say, but it's too bad he got hurt, but it's really got to be based on what you really did,
Mm-hmm.
Someone who comes to mind when we're talking about people like who are super well known, but there's like their numbers aren't that great. Like Bryce Harper, I don't know. Like what did he hit? Like 250.
Overrated.
Like he hits bombs. Like I
Great player. He works hard. He's a monster. He's overrated.
I'm pretty sure he's Jimmy's favorite player. So Jimmy.
Oh yeah, Jimmy loves Bryce Harper, and Jimmy hits nukes like Bryce Harper. So I don't care.
And he kind of acts like Bryce Harper.
Tell me Jimmy doesn't swing like Bryce Harper though. The absolute force of the swing.
He swings.
It's that little that jerking and just hits bombs, dude. So Jimmy, that's fine. We're not getting on Bryce Harper, but he's a little overrated in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a perfect example, really. I think he hit like 230 last year. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he was like, I mean, you can't be in the Hall of Fame and hit 230. Sorry.
No shot. You can't.
People were mad when he was in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
All-Star game the All-Star game is like the votes, probably that's why.
Yeah.
I mean,
because people vote. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like fans vote.
Yeah.
Exactly. And a Bryce Harper jersey, let's say some guy who just came up this year went off and he's hitting 290 and he's like the last pick for the All-Star. You're going to pick him or Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper jersey is going to sell 20 times as more as this guy. And that's what they look at in the end is the numbers. It's an All-Star weekend,
Yeah. I mean, he's a perfect example of like, if you have a big, like not taking away from like anybody I'm about to talk about, but like big personalities like get you, I feel like in the sports world, they get you places fast. Like Conor McGregor, huge personality. Like he blew up, he was like undefeated for a long time and he still has belts and he's still, competing and everything. And he's my favorite UFC fighter.
Yeah.
But he has that huge personality that made him known by everyone because when he was coming up in those, smaller fights, he would win in 30 seconds, this huge knockout, and then talk a bunch of shit afterwards.
Yeah.
Or talk shit in the press conference. And then, it gets on social media, it gets on TV, everybody knows who you are. And then you get more fans, and then you get those bigger fights, or you get, bigger opportunities.
Remember, we watched the Conor McGregor documentary he made. What was it on? Is it on YouTube?
It's Netflix.
Netflix. We watched it, and I remember him it was like showing when he was younger and the videos and stuff, and he didn't change. He hasn't changed.
Yeah.
He's still that crazy mother effer that just gets in the UFC ring and just beats the shit out of people. And
Yeah.
he's been doing it ever since he first started. And I think, like you were saying, his personality just got him there because obviously his talent got him there. Don't get me wrong. Like, but when after you beat the hell out of someone and then you talk a bunch of shit and say you can take the best guy on that's next, everybody's like, whoa, whoa, easy, bud. And then he goes, and then he does it, and then he goes to the next one. And it's like, come on, I want to keep seeing this guy. I want to keep seeing him.
And he was really the first guy to, act more like a professional wrestler in the UFC than right. He's a good promoter. He's a good self promoter. That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, like, the thing I like about him too is, like, first of all, like you said, he's never changed. Like, he's always thought, even when he was living in like a shack, he always thought he was the best. You know what I mean?
He told his girlfriend, he's like, don't worry, I'm gonna make it. I'm the best. I'm the best. She's like, okay.
And then the other thing is too, like, we ordered the cowboy fight, the McGregor cowboy fight. Like, he's super, like, he knocked him out in what? Like,
he just got, dude. It's every McGregor fight. Every time I've ordered this man's fight, I've ordered fights and he's lost, but there's every fight that he wins, it seems to be like I can't even eat the first 2 pieces of pizza I order.
Yeah,
like he's down.
Didn't I call it? I was like, he's not gonna let Cerrone throw the first punch. I was like, he's gonna do something crazy right off the bat.
Yeah, and I'm like,
he hit him with 3 shoulders. Like, who does that?
I've never seen that before in my life. I just saw him get locked up, and I'm like, oh, this is how it's. I'm like, what's going on? And all of a sudden, he started throwing shoulders, and I'm like, what's he doing?
Shoulders.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's he doing? And then everybody's like, oh my god, his nose is bleeding, and then it's just done from there.
Yeah. Well, I like how he talks all that smack, and they like, we're like beefing with each other in the press conference and everything. But after he won, he hugged Cerrone. He hugged his mom. Like, he's super humble in defeat and victory. He lost to Khabib, and he didn't. Khabib ended up doing some jumping out the octagon into the crowd, and then his trainers jumped into the octagon. But like, McGregor didn't do anything wrong there. He was humble in defeat too, and that's what I like about him.
He was really different. Like, I don't know, there wasn't as much talking back and forth with Cerrone for sure. I mean, there was more respect back and forth. It was nothing like Khabib or some of these other guys. I mean, that one press conference was freaking crazy. Like, did you ever see that one press conference where the guy's talking and he's like, who the fuck is this guy?
I did see that.
McGregor was like in the front row, and there was some guy in the back.
Yeah, he had the glasses.
That guy.
He had the glasses on. He looked back and he had the microphone. Who the fuck is it? Dude, that's hilarious.
Or the press conference when he was going to fight Jose Aldo, he took Jose Aldo's belt because
he said, "Give me that." He said, "Give me that." But like, that's the thing about McGregor. I think he's like you were saying, he's very humble, respectful. When he loses, he loses. When he wins, he goes over, he respects you, he shakes your hand, blah blah blah.
Yep.
Like, that's the sportsmanship in it. The reason why I think he does it before is, one, he gets in your head a little, but he does it because he loves his fans. He's entertained. He's an entertainer. That's what he likes to do. He beats people up. He entertains us watching, but he entertains us before. He says, look, I'm talking all this smack, like, this and that, get everybody hyped. Everybody's into it. I watch the weigh-in and I'm hyped for the weigh-in. They're not even doing anything. They're just
that's like that's like the professional wrestling aspect to it too, because you watch, I don't know if you ever watched professional wrestling. I don't really watch it anymore, but when I was a kid, it's like the talking was the best parts. Like, the wrestling was secondary. It was more like you wanted to hear them talk to the crowd and go at each other talking, and the wrestling was just kind of like secondary. It was more like, they're gonna wrestle, but it's more fun hearing them go back and forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like it's always cool to see him back up what he's saying too. There's a lot of hype to his. It's like he's preparing the act and then he acts.
Yeah.
And then it's like, thanks for the show, and then he goes right back to it.
Yep. But like when McGregor fought Diaz the first time, he lost, and I think a huge reason why he lost is because he was talking all that smack, and it didn't affect Nate Diaz at all. Like he's known for like like he just didn't care. You know what I mean? Like usually McGregor gets into other people's heads. He'll like I said, he took the belt from Aldo or does something crazy like that. Diaz didn't care about any of that. You know what I mean? He just went in and he beat him the first time.
Yeah.
And McGregor won the
Oh,
second.
and plus Diaz is a really good fighter.
Well,
so-
yeah, obviously.
Yeah. Diaz is he's just a different breed, dude. Because like you were just saying, like how he gets in other people's heads. I remember I actually said that when I went to go watch that fight. I was just like, he just doesn't look stunned. Like some of the fighters, they don't look stunned because everybody's, they got their game face, they're ready to go, they want to fight. But
Yeah.
like you can tell, like they're like a little on edge. It's McGregor. This is a big fight. There's millions of people watching you.
Right.
He just like stood in there like relaxed. He was just chilling. And then he went in there and he fought and he did what he had to do. And like I feel like other people sometimes get caught in the hype just a little too much. And that's why they get caught slipping. Because McGregor's like, look, we're about to start a fight, comes up, Nisha, you're down, game over. I just won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah. Nobody makes more money than McGregor. Nobody draws more attention than McGregor in the UFC anyway.
No.
That's why if there was ever a McGregor Khabib 2, that'd be the biggest fight in UFC history. You know what I mean?
We need that.
Yeah.
I want that. I would pay $200 for that fight.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I'm not even kidding.
That's why I would make the most amount of money too.
Because there's so much beef between them that
Pay-per-view could literally be like, oh, not 100 anymore.
yeah.
and everybody would still buy it.
Yeah. Yep. But
So what else we got going on?
oh, you want to talk about Tiger King a little bit?
Oh, sure.
So
I haven't watched it yet. Don't spoil it too much.
Oh, we won't spoil anything.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if did we talk about it in the last podcast or no?
No, we didn't. Crane just texted me, or he called me, and I didn't answer. And I go, 1 sec, we're doing our podcast call, and he sent the Michael Jordan. Stop it. Get some help. That's so funny.
That's funny.
Yes, you do.
No, yeah, that Tiger King, you definitely have to watch that though, because like I think I was telling you about it before though. It's about people who own private zoos and all these exotic animals, but like it's a totally like other story too. Like there's these two people that are feuding, like they don't like each other like at all, and they take it way too far, and it's absolutely crazy.
They let the cats out to fight. And
No, it's just a story that you just don't like. There's a lot of stories like that though that you just can't that are true. Then they're just unbelievable. Like
yeah.
And it's
so this is actually based on this is like a true story.
It's like a documentary.
Yeah, it's weird, and it's I'm always amazed at how much footage they have and like how much they've actually recorded of these people and different stuff like that. I mean, it's just crazy. But yeah, this is like off the rails crazy. I mean, it's just.
I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'm probably gonna turn it on after we're done.
You just don't know. Yeah, I mean, after the first 2 episodes are really good, but like episodes 3 to whatever, is there 7 or 8?
There's 7, I think.
Yeah, you won't be able to stop watching after episode 3.
How many is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a limited time thing. So like it might be taken off soon.
Yeah.
So I should like get on that. All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for sure.
You definitely should get on that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Larry, did you
watch Ozark?
I did watch that. Did you
watch this season 3? Did you watch that yet?
No, I did not watch season 3.
Oh, okay,
we were just talking about that, right, Jared?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching that now. It's pretty good.
I finished it last night, dude.
I finished it. I think Crane did too, honestly.
It's great. It's the best season of Ozark this far for sure.
Yeah, I'm like through 5, I think, maybe. Episode 5, something like that.
Yeah.
So, it's good though. Really good.
He is watching it. I'm gonna watch that. Yeah. Did I freeze or no?
Oh, you're good now.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Wait, talk.
Hello.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, yeah. Because it was lagging for you too.
No, you're good.
But have you ever seen the show Lost, Larry?
Yeah, I have.
We were talking about that last episode. I used to watch that. I didn't get to finish it, but I thought it was unreal.
Yeah.
So how many seasons there's like 11 seasons or something, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
like crazy long.
there was 9, I think. I got through 7.
Yeah, you got to see the best parts. The last couple seasons weren't that good.
Okay.
It
I just
got
wanted to
like
check
it just got really weird at the end.
Yeah,
Like it got so weird that you didn't even understand what was going on half the time.
I was gonna say I feel like I because when I was watching season 7, like I was still connecting things, but at that point there was like new things coming up, and I was why why are there new things coming up? Shouldn't there be tying like things in and like
Yeah, it
ending?
was really bizarre toward the end. Like I almost couldn't follow what was going on, but it was good. I liked it. It was really
Oh
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
so many details in that show. It's just
I would.
Yeah.
That's a show that I would definitely rewatch. Like I would rewatch Lost for
I don't
sure.
think it's on anywhere. I actually looked for it.
It's not
Yeah.
on Netflix. It's not on Hulu. I
Yeah.
can't find it anywhere because I wanted to try to watch the last 2 seasons, but now I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
waste my time.
Yeah.
But I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a really good show, and that's one of the only shows too that was actually on like network TV that I liked.
Yeah.
Like I usually don't like stuff that's on. I think that was on like Channel 7 or something, but I didn't. I usually don't like stuff that's on like regular network TV because it's so overproduced.
Yep.
But this is that I liked it. It was really good. Yeah.
I thought it was a good show
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. It was crazy. The Dharma Initiative and
Oh,
all
they
that
had to
stuff.
like keep punching
Hit
in
the
that code.
punch in the code.
dude, I can't even tell you, bro, how into that show I was. Like I sometimes I would take notes because like I didn't want to lose because I didn't want to like lose because I'd be watching at 3 a.m. sometimes because I would stay up so late, and I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, I can't forget about this happening because then later on I'd be like, oh yeah, that's why that happened. This is,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like with
Yeah,
the
there's a
new
lot
people
going on.
with the people coming in from the ship that were sent in to kill
Yeah.
them, like
Yeah.
The
stuff,
others.
The
the
others.
others, and then the black smoke. Dude, the whole thing was just nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Crazy.
thought that show was cool because it kept giving you so much background on all the characters. Like it
Yeah.
would do flashbacks into their real life and where they came from and all that. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yep.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Yep.
Good stuff. So
Anything
so
else? What else we got?
Um.
I mean, we got an hour 10, so that's pretty.
Yeah.
We got some good content.
Definitely.
all right. Well, good job, boys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
thank
much.
you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Larry, for
absolutely.
joining us as our first special guest on the No Hard Feelings podcast.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And hopefully you guys any other good guests coming up or Rain gonna be on? Jimmy? Get Jimmy
Crane's
on
gonna
here?
be
Gotta
on
get
soon.
Jimmy
Yeah,
on.
we gotta get Jimmy on soon. I'm gonna
Well,
talk to my cousin and my uncle. I'm gonna see if I can get my uncle on here next week, but he's busier than a dog, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's at home, so maybe you can Skype him in.
Yeah, my mom called him yesterday. Funny story. My mom called him yesterday, and he didn't answer. So she's like, "Oh no, he's probably busy." So he didn't call her back the whole day. So she calls him later on, and he answers. He's like, "What do you want?" And she's like, "What do I want?" She goes, "I could have been dead, and you didn't. You don't answer." She goes, "I called you 3 times today." Blah blah blah. He said, "I'm working." Blah blah blah. She said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Listen, don't worry about what I'm doing. I'm making conference calls. We're setting up golfing trips. Don't worry." I'm like, dude, literally, you're shot. You're shot.
That's funny.
Oh, it's hilarious, dude.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on, and maybe you can get Coach Fitry on.
We said that in the last
Yes, yeah, we do got to get Coach Fitch on here.
That would be awesome.
Go things and everything. That'd be
We
hilarious.
should when we get back to school, we should have like everyone on. Like we'll like set up the camera, we can put everybody in the same. That'd be sweet.
That would be in the
Yep.
conference
Good.
room
Yeah, in the conference room. Yeah,
for sure.
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Alrighty.
Absolutely.
All right, we just finished up our second podcast. I'd like to say thank you so much to my dad, Larry Welnowski, for coming on the podcast and making it really interesting. We talked about a whole bunch of things. We talked about business. We talked about the importance of social media in today's society and today's business world. We talked about
various baseball topics, from Jordan and I's point of view, younger kids, to my dad's point of view, an older guy who, loves baseball, watched baseball for however many years, and he's got a little older view on baseball. So we compared that. We talked about some, hot button topics like should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? Should there be a DH? Things like that. Stay tuned for our next podcast. Jordan's going to explain that a little bit right now.
Yeah, so our next podcast is going to come out Saturday, and we're actually going to do a thing called Spotify Saturday. We're going to do this every Saturday, and what we're going to do is kind of talk about different songs. We're going to listen to them, maybe give a review on them, look at the lyrics. And what you guys can do is you guys can comment below, send us a DM if you want, and tell us songs that you guys want to hear like on that podcast. We'll do that every Saturday, so you guys have a week. Well, right now you guys will have a couple of days to do it, but for future ones you'll have a week. Oh, you'll have a week. Let us know. My voice just cracked. You'll have a week to let us know what songs you want to do, and we'll do that, and we'll take a certain amount of requests each week, so it'll be something to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. Like Jordan said, shoot us a DM or comment on a YouTube video or whatever. Let us know what songs you want to hear us talk about. That's about it, I guess.
Yeah, so thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys Saturday.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace.
Peace.